Grand Rising. So I had a very directional kind of dream last night. I've been having some interesting dreams lately. And Oishko, come here, honey. Would you stop it? I don't want to play right now, honey. You're handsome. But in my dream, I was led to focus, like how I was talking about focusing on all of the placements and shit in my birth chart. I was guided to focus first on all things Lyra, Avion, and Armentana. And I've gone through a lot of that information because I spent months on the Guardian Alliance teachings. And I was guided to focus on breaking down all of the stars within Lyra specifically and going back to all things Lyra because that was pinged as my starseed origin. But I was pinged in a triangle of Lyra, Aquila, and Cygnus. So I have to look at those three places very, very, very closely. And then I randomly find this woman. Like I said, there are so many people with small channels who are pumping out some shit, man. And I started and was drawn right to this video. I'm not going to pull this shit up and play it. You know, I can lead horses to water all day and push play on all of these things, but this pretty much, it matches up with freedom teachings type shit. And this video was very, very, very good. Oops. And then I watched this video because she has...
Just look for the promo code on the big day for a chance to win it all. DoorDashAllTheAds.com.
So she has an accent, and I think it's great. I love when people talk like English is not their first language, and they talk like this.
Of the environment and ecosystem on the earth.
I love it. But she goes on and she breaks down just like I was looking for. And she breaks down the different stars and shit like that are all things Lyra. And then she goes on to describe the Lyrans from each star. And
their original form as part of one of the three orders of the founders of Lyran beings, which is different from literally placing, except
she
if
has
each
this picture where she has it that the beings from these two stars were not involved. And she starts going down them. It's fucking great. And that the beings from two of these offshoot stars were not involved in the Draco Lyran Wars. Goes on to explain that there was a small amount of Lyrans who pretty much regressed in consciousness and kind of partook in the bullshit. And things like the Lyrans from the Lyran Nebula have like avian type features. This is like cool as fuck. And I just wanted to point her out there to anybody who is looking for Lyran information, because she said most of her energies are Lyran. And about the Billy Carson programming thing, I fucking think Billy Carson is so knowledgeable, and I have learned a lot from him. And Yahweh equals Enlil is correct. It's just that unless you can take that information and incorporate it with this kind of information, it's just not deep enough. Like, it's just not a good enough thing. So, I've done a lot of research, sure, but I'm literally to the point where I'm just going to start really getting in deep to all of this shit. Like, I've heard a lot of information about, we'll say, the Epic of Gilgamesh. But right now, Billy Carson is doing like a 6-part series pretty much, where last week he actually read, because he's like, I know people aren't going to actually, take the time out to go read these things because they're busy and all of this. So I'm going to read them. And last week, it took almost 2 hours, but he read through the first 2 tablets of the 12-tablet series that are the Epic of Gilgamesh. And last night, he started reading tablets 3 and 4, and I got about halfway through it. And you kind of pretty much, for me personally, I've decided that I want to know what the scholars are saying and what everything says at face value, but then look to the star seeds, like Indigo Angel, who really seem to have this shit flipped right side up. And it is so freaking fascinating. It really is. And anybody who ultimately has Thoth as a good guy and a good character, because they are following straight up tablet information, that's how you know that you gotta find the star seeds that are talking about Thoth's deception. That character and that whole Leviathan Anunnaki race line are fucking treacherous. And it's a damn shame. It really is. It's a fucking shame. However, Billy Carson has a huge following of assholes that have been real nice and lubed up to continue on to other information like this that really puts things in a really good perspective. And yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at, is focusing on all things Lyra, Aquila, Cygnus, and then shit like this. I had a conversation with Guy last night. We were talking, and I was trying to explain to him the Aquila grid, and because he brought it up, how fucked up the military is. And he doesn't understand the depths of how powerful these governments and these military forces actually are. And I started trying to explain that the Aquila grid is the most powerful, fucked up thing against humanity. And this is where people don't see how in cahoots all of these governments really are, and how symbolism really gives everybody away. I mean, everybody strutting eagle shit. That is how you know that they are some of the biggest fucking bad guys out there. Like, this is why the United States says that Israel's their greatest ally. Because nobody fucking likes the United States or Israel. Everybody else out there seems to understand that the United States and fucking Israel and goddamn Great Britain are the biggest fucking bad guys, actually. And I started trying to explain some of the ET weapons and the holographic weapon systems that the Aquila grid is running. And it kind of went a little over his head, and it kind of, you know, you can only process so much. And like I told him, in my head, he as a person is a walking, talking epitome of the Aquila grid. And he's also in my head Cygnus. He is, to me, everything that I started this channel trying to help. Eagles, the Patriots, and Cygnus, the crosses, Christians. Because the United States is in for a very big rude awakening. And it is not going to be fucking good that over half of this country is patriots and Christians. And the Christians even go to the left, where it's not just patriots. There are Christians everywhere on the right. And unfortunately, these people supporting patriotism and Christianity look to be the biggest fucking problem. And if the United States falls, I don't know how that goes. And they're really trying to destroy us from within. I mean, they have. And it's not going to get better if a Republican gets in. Because the United States and Israel are the biggest fucking problems. And like I told him, I have always been, I guess, fucking naive and total total chump when it comes to men and the guys that I talk to, because I don't like people very much. And but when I am emotionally invested in somebody, I kind of am a type of woman that's a real stand by her man kind, and have let men drag me through fucking hell because I've just been very loyal. And maybe it's displaced confidence in this man, but there's a bunch of his buddies who are military who aren't like these other soulless, nasty motherfuckers in the military. There is a huge polarity issue. There are the military people that go out there and kill kids and think it's fucking funny because they are so overtaken. Their souls are so fucked. And they are part of the machine that is the Aquila grid. And then there's people like Guy and like his buddies and like a lot of other people out there who have consciousness and have hearts and see what a disgusting problem the military and police forces are actually and have become and have always been. And it's like when they speak up and say something, they've got a fucking army of high-ranking motherfuckers punishing them, coming after them. I mean, the military is the strongest grid, Aquila-wise and weapons tech-wise, but also in real life. If these military people would check their fucking facts and refuse to fight Anunnaki wars, if these eagles and these patriots and these Christians and these crosses would understand that they are all in death cults and nobody died for their sins, those are all fucking lies, and check their facts quick, that would be really great. That would be great. Because until these fucking militaries stop, we're fucked. We're fucked. We're gonna just keep on killing each other in the name of Satan. Literally. Everybody in the Abrahamic branch, at the minimum, you're empowering Satan, a bunch of fucking Anunnaki animals, a bunch of aliens. Everybody's following alien cult religions and they're laughing at Scientologists. At least Scientologists admit they're following aliens and realize it. That's a fucking problem. Doodles.